Welcome back. This week I'm going to satisfy two subscriber requests. The first one was someone asking if the dish we're making today will be included in our One Pot series. Yes, and the second one was a funny request from Mike D challenging me to say, can you find a recipe that does not contain mushroom because of French? It's true, we use mushroom. That was quite funny actually. And guess what? This is it. Let me introduce you to the Bakenhof. I think it's pronounced like this. It's an Alsatian dish that is only made with white wine, usually from Alsace, a Riesling, 3 types of meat, onion and potatoes. There's no mushroom. Rejoice! Here we are, recipe of the day is the Bakenhof. Bakenhof, you know how to pronounce it, use the comment section because I'm not too sure, but what I know is that Bakenhof translates as the baker's oven. And the story goes that back in the days, ladies working in the fields, you know, in the villages in the eastern France in Alsace, they will come in the morning to the bakery with this. An earthenware with all the ingredients and give this to the baker so that he can put this in the oven when he's done for the day, turn the oven off, and with the residual heat that will be slow cooking for the entire day, and he will pick it up at the end of the day with a piece of bread, and that was dinner's made. Now of course it sounds very picturesque for 1 or 2 pots, but the poor guy, imagine that was half the women's village turning up with pitchforks and pots. Can we see the baker please? And whoa, you know, that's really quite intense, but apparently that's the way to do it. So we're just going to do it, of course, the classic way. We're still going to use the earthenware, and we're going to do something quite special today, which is done as well by the baker, is that we put a bit of bread dough all along the edge to totally seal the pot to have our slow cooking. Okay, so now let's start the recipe and let me show you the ingredients. And now for the ingredients. To make our Bakenhof here, we need 3 things. The first one is onions. You're going to have to peel the onions, wash them, and then cut them the way you want. This is how they look like. A little sliced onion, that's the first thing. Second are the potatoes, 1 kilo of potatoes, and you're gonna use a knife just by hand, and we're gonna cut these, let me show you here, in thick slices. That kind of slices here, you see? Not super thin because that has to cook for 3 hours. So you're gonna slice all the potatoes like this and then reserve them in water. The third thing we need to have, of course, is the meat, but the meat is a little bit special. I need to show you that. And here we are. This is the meat, and this may come as a surprise to you because it is meant to be simple, 1 pot, etc., etc. But let me explain. The reason I have to show you this like that, already made, because the marinade has to be made the day before, okay? For sure, it has to be made the day before. And the reason we are marinating the meat here is that there is nothing else to do in that dish away from that. This is virtually the dish. There's no cooking involved, nothing at all. Or what we need to do is to cut our onions, cut the potatoes, and then we're gonna be layering things like that in our pot and put it into the oven. That's about it. So here, we've got 3 types of meat. We've got pork shoulder, lamb shoulder, and beef chuck. Cut in large pieces. We've got 1 onion, some bay leaf and thyme. I've added some juniper berries, black pepper. We've got a bit of salt and some garlic. You will find all the ingredients in the video description. But like I said, this is all what you have to do for the dish. Okay, so now let me show you how to do the layering. And now for the assembly. As I said, there's no cooking involved. It is just a layering affair. So you need an earthenware with the glazed bottom. If you don't have one, you can use a cast iron pot. Not a problem. You're going to start with a layer of potatoes. And by the way, you can coat your dish with lard if you want to do the things the proper way, but I don't have any at hand. So I'm going to put some potatoes in here. Okay, potatoes first. And then you follow with a layer of meat. So you take them out of the marinade and you put a layer of meat. Okay, so remember there's 3 types of meat. We've got pork shoulder, lamb shoulder, and beef chuck. And when you add the meat, you can add, for instance, a piece of bay leaf. You try to grab some of the onions and the garlic that's in there, a bit of thyme. It doesn't hurt. When you're here, it is time to add a layer of onion. Okay, so some onion. And we're going to press the whole lot, and we're going to continue to stack things up. I think my pot is a bit small there, but we'll see how we go. You know what? My pot is way too small. I finished the layering, and I'm going to add some pepper in here. and of course some salt. To finish, we're going to pour all of the marinade over. All right, so I'm not even going to filter anything. I'm just going to pour the whole thing over. And this is wine. And by the way, you have to use an Alsatian Riesling if you can. Otherwise, just a Riesling would do fine. And we're going to top up with a little bit of water. But we don't want too much. Now, ideally, you only want to use wine, but I think I may have drank too much of it before putting it in. But, ooh, you see the water is just coming around the edge. That's enough because there is one last step that needs to happen for that dish. The baker's job is not done because when the pots were given to the baker, he had to make a dough, which is called a pâte à lutter, which is like a bread flour with a bit of water, and we're going to use to make a joint to totally seal our pot here, to make some kind of a pressure cooker kind of thing. I'm going to use my hand, should be good. Look at this. You would think I would be making a baguette, right? But we're not. This is not something we're going to eat. This is just a seal. So we're going to make that dough and roll it like a baguette a little bit and make a long string we're going to use as a joint for the pot. And that's quite a fun exercise to make this little dough. All right, so the pot is back. And the idea is to make, how do you call that? An edge or something. All around. There's a bit too much there. All around there. To really seal everything, so make sure you got enough dough, because then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my lead, that's there, and try to seal that thing in here so it's totally, kind of tight. I've just realized something. We have a little rogue hole here. It was meant for the steam to escape in that pot, so I'm going to have to roll some kind of little spaghetti of a piece of dough and put it in there, patch the hole, make sure no steam comes out. That could act as a security thing if the thing wants to explode. I don't even know what's going to happen in that oven. Kind of scary, to be honest. And here we are. So this is the bacon-off with the uneven seal that I've got around here, but at least we've respected the tradition. So what needs to happen? We're going to put this in a cold oven at 150 degrees Celsius. I put the equivalent Fahrenheit on the screen, and that has to slow cook apparently for 3 hours. Now I've got no way of knowing what's going to happen with that pot. I hope it's not going to crack, burst open. This is supposed to be cooking as well, and we can only reveal by breaking the dough. So you will have a seal of veracity, so you know I'm not cheating or anything. When it's going to be out of the oven, we're going to break this together and see what's inside. I can't wait. And here we are. The pot is here, but there's been a little spillage on the side. I don't think this is really hot. Well, some juice came out, and I'm not sure how this is going to be looking inside. I've got some tools on here. So look, let's try to break that thing open. This is hard as rock. I think I would need a hammer for that thing. Okay. This is not going anywhere. Okay, we're gonna have to chip at this. Wait, it's coming. Seems to be some progress. We're making some progress. Look at this. There we go. Okay, better do this by hand. But let me tell you that I believe that the juice would have been really, really almost gone from there, and that worries me. Oh, actually, there's still juice in there. Wow. Let's zoom in. Now that looks like a bomb site. What I've done here. If you do this in front of guests, don't do like me, but you know what? Look. If I look at this, there's still plenty of juices. So let me tell you one thing here, that this dish, it is supposed to have that kind of clear broth in there, and it's not supposed to be seared like you've seen. We've done virtually nothing but put the stuff in the pot. So what I'm trying to see here is, see, after that long, the potatoes are still holding, but they really, really fall apart, so super fragile. And most importantly, the meat test. Oh, you see it's falling apart, but could have been cooked a bit longer. All right. So anyway, this is the first look. I'm going to put this into a plate and we'll taste it out. All right, so here we go again for the tasting. This is the bacon off. It sounds like back off. Maybe when the ladies were taking the pots back from the oven, like back off, it's my pot. But this is it. I mean, it is quite simple. The meat here, I've got no idea which one is which. And these are kinds of meat here, meat pieces. They've been cooking 3 hours, but like the bœuf bourguignon was really falling apart. I think this is a little bit more tough, but let's look at the flavors. That's a beef. That's a piece of beef. This one. Oh, come on, that's a piece of beef as well. I think that's a lamb. So, the first thing I can say, first off, it's surprisingly really tasty because the 3 types of meat mixed in there with the juice really makes the dish. And there is only onion and this flavory of herbs, you know, the thyme and the juniper berries and these potatoes. But it's surprising how tasty that thing is. I mean, it's not pretentious. It doesn't try to wow you with like, you know, super special flavor, but it all bangs on the meat, onions and potato, like a simple trifecta, like a combination of meat that goes into the sauce. And it's more like a kind of a broth. It's not like the bœuf bourguignon. I can feel the wine, but it's much more subtle, but it's really just this taste impregnated in the potatoes, the onion. It's juicy, meaty, but simple, but it works. Like it. And here it is, the bacon off in all its glory with the cross. So first off, I think that this is a great party trick because opening that cross in front of your guests, even if you struggle like me, it still, you know, creates an excitement, and it does deliver when you put this into the plate in terms of taste. It's got that kind of Franco-German style of food. I would definitely drink beer with that dish. That would be beautiful. And you have the potatoes, you know, you could serve something else on the side, but to be honest, maybe a side of lettuce or something, and you are done. Highly recommended. If you try it, leave me a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you think. Now, next week, we're going to try to go for something different and try to use some vegetables and see what I can dig out for a one-pot recipe for all of you vegetarian out there. But that's it for me for this week. I'll leave you with this beautiful picture again of the bacon off, and I'll see you next time for another one-pot video. Take care. Bye-bye.